Hi, turkeys. Okay, I super apologize that this is 2 classes in a row where you guys have had a guest teacher and I haven't been able to be here. So I wanted to make sure that you got the same instruction that everyone else got. Last class, I heard there was a little confusion about some of the work with adding and subtracting decimals. Today, we're going to add in multiplication and division with that. So I'm about to walk you through step by step what we do with all of those operations. I highly suggest pausing the video and taking notes. If you have those notes in your notebook to reference, it will make today's work and then the work we do for the next few days a lot easier, okay? So I'm about to turn on Notability and you'll still be able to hear me and kind of see me highlighting or using the pointer tool. You guys are rock stars, you got this. So, dun dun dun. Of course, it's gonna take a minute to load. Come on. There we go. Okay, perfect. Here we are. First things first, when we are adding or subtracting decimals, we line up our decimal or our place value, okay? I probably from elementary school, you remember hearing, hey, we line up the decimal, which is true, but really when you're doing that, you're lining up the place value, and that's the thing I really want you thinking about. Then you just add or subtract as usual, right? So you'll notice here, I've got 1.4 plus 2.26, right? I lined up those decimal places, actually added a 0 right here, just so everything lined up neatly, and I did my addition. You'll notice I dropped that decimal point right down where it was already lined up. That should be review. You guys should already have that on lock. Where a little bit of newness comes in here is multiplying decimals. So when we multiply, we pretend there are no decimals, okay? Once we have our answer, we count the decimal places in the original problem, then we zoop the decimal into the answer. So let's do an example together here right now. We've got 24 2/10 times 0.75. You'll notice our decimal points are absolutely not lined up. And that's okay. They don't need to be. We're gonna pretend like they don't even exist. We're gonna treat this right now like this is 242 times 75. So 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1, 21. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Now I'm going to put a 0 here because I'm multiplying in this digit, so I want my answer to start right there in the same place value. 7 times 2 is 14, carry the 1, put the 4. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 1 is 29, carry the 2, bring the 9 down. 7 times 2 is 14, 15, 16. Now I will add my answers here, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. My answer is not 18,150. What I need to do now is I need to count my decimal places in the original problem. I see 1, 2, 3. So now I'm going to zoop 3 decimal places into my answer. Zoop, zoop, zoop. And my answer is 18 15/100ths. I could have written 18 150 thousandths, but that 0 there is unnecessary. Okay? All right, whew. One more thing to review. Dividing decimals. This looks like a lot of words, but again, if you were to pause this, I promise you, I just wrote pretty big. It's not that many words. Every time we divide, we have a dividend divided by the divisor. The dividend is that first number that you're dividing. The divisor is what you're dividing by. When we write it this way, the dividend is what goes on the inside, the divisor is our outside number. There cannot be a decimal in the divisor. So if we have a decimal in that outside number, we need to zoop it away, okay? We zoop it all the way to the end. And then just like when we are making equivalent fractions, and anything you do to the numerator, you do to the denominator, however many zoops you do to your divisor, you'll do to your dividend. So let's do an example here. We've got 24 divided by 6/10. Now, 24 doesn't have a decimal at all, right? Which might seem weird because we need to take this decimal and zoop it to the end. That now becomes 6.0, but we don't need to put the 0 there. Every number ever has a decimal at the end of it. We just usually don't write them if it's a whole number. So same as how that is now at the end, we've got a 24.0. Well, we zooped our outside decimal one place, so we're gonna zoop our inside decimal, that made a straight line, one place. And now it will go there and we'll fill that blank in with a 0. Now I'm gonna take my decimal and bring it up to my answer line. That is where the decimal will be in my answer. So now I'm gonna ask myself, well, how many times does 6 go into 2? It doesn't. How many times does 6 go into 24? 4 times, which is 24. And I'll subtract, there's nothing left, and I'll bring down this 0. We've got to we have a 0 there that we have to deal with. It's how many times does 6 go into 0? It goes in 0 times. And I've had some students have a little confusion about this the last couple of days. If you think about it, if 6 goes into 24 4 times, it makes sense for 6 to go into 240 40 times because we multiplied 24 by 10 to add a 0. So we'd multiply the 4 by 10 to get a 0. Let's do one more of these and then we'll be finished. Let's try, I don't know, 1.25 divided by 0.75, okay? Ooh, that's gonna be too easy. Let's make this, sorry. We're gonna make that 0.25 and we're gonna make this 4.25. I like that better. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one now. We've got 4.25, this is our inside number, our dividend, divided by our divisor, 0.25, okay? We are now going to zoop our decimals to the very end. And if I moved that one twice, I will zoop this one twice, and I'll bring it up. So now really what we're asking is how many times does 25 go into 425? Well, 25 doesn't go into 4. How many times is 25 going to go into 42? Only once. 25, we subtract. 8, 7, okay, 17 left over. And we'll bring down that 5. I know 25 goes into 100 4 times, and 25 goes into 75 3 times. Add those together, 4, 5, 6, 7. 25 goes into 175 7 times evenly, so we're done. So our answer here was 17. Right, which makes sense if you think about it. What that's saying to you is how many quarters, 0.25, fit into $4.25, which is 17 quarters. All right, you guys got this. I left you a list of some book work to do in the same Schoology document where you found this link. I am proud of you. You're amazing, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.